Hey guys, Marauder here with my friend LOZF, and we're here to talk about another movie that we just saw. The movie being Paranormal Activity 3. We saw this on its midnight showing last Thursday night, Friday morning. You know how it goes. And thought we'd sit down and talk about it, talk about some of the things we liked and some of the things we didn't like, and give it an overall recommendation. Spoiler warning, because we got some stuff we want to bring up that if you're a fan of the series, you might want to stick around for it, but if you haven't seen the movie yet, you might want to tune this one out. Anyway, some of the things that you liked.
Some of the scares I liked.
Yeah.
Some of that I did. Some of them were stupid though, but a few of them, like
Positives now, positives.
I know. Like
the ghost behind the babysitter.
if the ghost behind the babysitter. No, the whole camera setup they had down there that he decided to rig up to the fan system so it's so back and forth. I thought that was genius because
that was quite clever.
Because as it's sitting on that fan, it's just slowly going back and forth and stopping, then going back again and stopping. Your eye is constantly following the edge of the screen, saying, "What's there? What's there? What's there? What's there? Is there anything there? Is there anything there? Is there anything there? Is it?"
Especially that one with the mother on the phone.
Yeah, and then you see her sticking her hand down the garbage disposal.
Oh no, I was speaking about the one where she goes to answer the door.
Oh,
and then she comes back and there's nothing in the kitchen.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty good.
That was pretty good, yeah.
Because you're focused on her the entire time, so when you come back around, it's even more shocking.
Yeah.
Because as she remarks, "Oh my God," or whatever, it's still panning over to where you can see it. Very clever. I liked how they set up the main, like the stepfather character, that he was a video editor. It made sense that he would know how to operate this stuff and how to set it up. Like, before, you could kind of go, well, in the first movie especially, you could go, well, he's just a guy with a camera. But at that point, it's like 2000 something. Everybody's got a camera. Hell, I can hit record on this thing and get it to do basically what I need it to. So, you know, but back then, those VHS cameras, you really had to kind of know what you were doing, especially when you were shooting in the dark and what to catch and where to put stuff. So, I liked that. I also really liked the two girls. I know when you get young actors like that, they can kind of get on your nerves. I really enjoyed that. They were not terrible.
They didn't act like they were obviously directed, like they were like someone off the side was reading them lines and saying, "Now be happy." Nothing like that. Like you couldn't tell that they were being directed at all. They did a good job at
they were very natural. They were very natural with the movie. It felt better that way. And I do, as screwed up as we will get into this, but as screwed up as it is, I did like kind of how it set it up. You know, as a prequel to the other two movies, I liked that concept. Not so much the execution, but at least the concept.
Yeah. Because
Paranormal Activity 2 ended the storyline so well that I feel you just couldn't go forward. Okay, well, so we liked the girls, we liked some of the scares, the atmosphere was okay overall. Some of the things that we didn't like, and I'll let you start on this as well. What was something that you didn't like?
The way they had the demon revealed in the beginning, like in the very beginning, they could have done it a lot more subtly because he's filming a sex tape. Ooh, sex tape, and all of a sudden an earthquake happens. Like, oh shit, earthquakes, no! So they're running all over the place, and so they're hiding, and like after they left the room, some dust from the ceiling falls down and falls on the invisible demon, which had never been let on that early in the previous two Paranormal Activities.
It's in the first, 5 minutes that you see
not
this.
even the first 5 minutes.
It's pretty well established that there's something in the house. But before, it was always kind of hinted at that, oh, this is nothing. Oh, this is stupid. Don't worry about this. And then here they go, there's actually, you see the dust fall onto his shoulder or something.
Yeah, and
it's
then he walks away and it goes back down. I mean, they could do it more subtly somehow.
Yeah.
I mean, enough, because the way they did it, they made the stepfather say, "There's something there. There's a ghost or something," and his editing partner guy was like, yeah, there's totally something there. It must be a ghost. It's just way too head-on for what Paranormal Activity usually does. It's usually a lot more subtle. Like, there's, I don't know, maybe some claw marks that weren't there when they left the room that are now there. Or
the girl could be talking about Toby maybe a lot.
Yeah.
And then they go, let's... Or that thing when he's in the house and he goes, I swear there's something in this house. They kind of played with that a little bit later.
Yeah.
Where he was hearing noises and he would kind of go into the room and there'd be nothing there. That's a better excuse to set up the camera than seeing this dust fall. I would have preferred him just being like, there's something in this house. I hear stuff.
Yeah. Have something that will either provoke their curiosity enough to set up cameras, or, like in Paranormal Activity 2, give them a reason on why they should set up cameras.
Yeah. Because Paranormal Activity 2 is a security camera system set up after a break-in, which made perfect sense, logical sense. In this one, he just kind of is like, I saw something on that tape we made last night, and therefore, I am going to put 3 cameras around the house and track this thing. Like, okay, I don't know. You could play it off in so many different ways. Another thing... Oh, I will say that is one thing I did like, is the number of cameras.
Yeah.
3. Because they went to 1 camera in the first movie to... How many cameras in the second movie? Like 4? There was 1 in the backyard, 1 in the main room, 1 in the bedroom, and 1 in the entryway.
Yeah.
And there was a bunch of cameras in that one.
Yeah, there were. Not to mention the handy cam.
Yeah, not to mention the handy cam that they carried around. So there was like 5, 6, maybe even 7 cameras in that movie. And then in this one they go to 3. So I liked that. They're simplifying things. But what really bothered me the most is just the sheer number of plot holes that this movie brings up.
Oh, gosh.
I mean, we were just us sitting in the theater after the movie was finished screening. We literally sat there and went, this makes no sense, that makes no sense. One thing is, at the beginning of Paranormal Activity 3, they show this footage where the girl from the first movie comes over and she drops off these tapes that she said she got from her grandmother's house a really long time ago and just has never opened. Then in Paranormal Activity 2, they play a little bit of that where after the break-in they go, the tapes are gone, which is something they didn't mention in Paranormal Activity 2. But that's okay. But then you come to the realization that the 2 girls said, or the one girl in Paranormal Activity 1 said, her house burned down. So, did the tapes escape the fire? And if so, how? And if the demon did it, why would he leave evidence of his own existence around if he's just going to torment this family?
Yeah, and when they're all grown up and she brings the tapes to the house, why take them then? I mean, they've been sitting with one of the sisters for all these years, and now he takes them? Why?
Yeah, it really made no sense.
And it doesn't make sense in the fact that they were in the family's house in the second movie. Well, it was showing this in the third movie, that, like, a little clip from the second, like, the family from the second movie. They're showing a little clip from them in the third movie, dropping out the tapes, and then finding out they're gone. And then all of a sudden the tapes, after they say the tapes have been stolen, well, they're actually missing, but they say they've been stolen, they just start playing. But why are they playing? Why are the tapes playing? Who's playing the tapes? Is the demon playing the tapes? It would make more sense if...
That was... Yeah, sorry, go on.
It would make a ton more sense if the family members, like, stuff got broken into, or, like, have something happen to the tapes where it draws their attention to the tapes to make them want to watch them. I mean, why can't we have somebody play the tapes? It doesn't even matter. I don't even care if it's like a police officer, but just somebody playing the tapes. Why are the tapes playing if the tapes are missing?
See, the problem I had with exactly this is these movies are played off as found footage films. So you could say that in the first movie, the police came to investigate the murder.
Yeah.
And found the camcorder and reviewed the tapes, and there you go. That's how you find them. Second movie, it's a security system. So, of course, when the family is murdered, again, the police show up, and again, they find the tapes. This one, there's no reason to find these tapes.
Yeah.
And plus, it would make even less sense because since he is a videographer, he would have thousands of these tapes presumably in his house. Some of them maybe even just half labeled.
Yeah, because I mean, he said that the tapes only lasted that he was recording with for each camera 6 hours.
Well, but then you take on to a point that he's got wedding footage from other people's weddings in the house. He's got his own personal videos. He's got the family videos. I mean, who knows how many tapes he's got in this house? It's not so easy as it is digitally to go through and go, oh, this is automatically dated for, the computer dated this for me. Let me see what happened. It's not that simple. There's not a clear-cut reason to why these are being shown to us other than to say, look what happened. But there's no
catalyst for the tape player.
Yeah, there's no catalyst for someone to find the tapes and put the film together.
Mm-hmm.
Which, if that's what they strived for in the other two movies, so it makes no sense here. Another thing that's a huge plot hole is in Paranormal Activity 2, it's explained that the family joined a coven. Their great-great-grandmother or something joined a coven and made a deal with this demon to give up the firstborn son in exchange for great wealth. And obviously in Paranormal Activity 2, that was the first male son born, so that's why all of this gets kickstarted. Well, in Paranormal Activity 3, they explain that every single generation, they have to indoctrinate the female to carry on this deal until one of them gives birth to a son. But my problem is, the mother in this movie had no clue.
Mm-hmm. Now,
you could argue that she was indoctrinated, and then she forgot.
Yeah.
But then why does the grandmother remember?
Yeah.
Because they explain that they make the people forget that they've been indoctrinated, but then why does the grandmother remember? And once the mother has daughters, why doesn't the mother remember?
Mm-hmm.
But she just goes along like nothing's wrong, like she knows nothing. Because if she did, they wouldn't have gone to the grandmother's house at the end of the movie for the whole climax, which, by the way, did not need to be at the grandmother's house.
No, it didn't.
Going there was pointless. Like, okay, a lot of stuff happened at the grandmother's house, but I'm saying, like, you could so totally, just as easily play that off at the house that they started in, and then that would make more sense, like, if the mother died in the house by the demon throwing her down the stairs or something. Because in this movie, that's what happens, is she dies by being thrown down the stairs. But there's no reason to go check the death at the grandmother's house and find the tapes in the other house. There's massive plot holes throughout this movie. Another thing I didn't like is they named the demon. I didn't like that. They named him Toby.
Oh yeah. That was a kid giving it a name.
I know, but
still.
But it just makes the whole thing seem really non-threatening.
Mm-hmm.
Like once you name something, you kind of know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that they named him in this movie was kind of annoying. Not a deal breaker, but it was kind of like, oh, his name is Toby. That's so stupid. When they could have just gone, I don't know what this is. Yeah, just a lot of plot holes. Some of the scares, I don't know what theater we were sitting in, but some of those scares, people were freaking out.
The stupid scares, too. There's a lot of jump scares. There's just a lot of jump scares. Compared to the other two movies, there's a lot of jump scares.
They don't build the tension near as well in this one as they did in the previous two.
No, they don't. I mean, they have jump scares that are stupid jump scares. Like, ooh, his wife jumps out the closet. Oh, it's just his wife. Oh, that's hilarious. Or, oh, the girl's right behind him. Oh, that's hilarious. It's scary. It's a jump scare. And then it's kind of, like, takes you out, like, kind of like, it numbs you to the fact that there's more serious jump scares that happen later. That
like the bathroom.
Like the bathroom. That should scare you. But they just don't as well.
Yeah, they get played off kind of as comedic at that point because... for anybody who's seen a trailer for this movie, they play this one part in the trailer where the two girls are in the bathroom and they play Bloody Mary and nothing happens, and as they leave, there's a ghost image behind them.
That does not happen at all in
the movie. Yeah, it's not in the movie.
It's not in the movie at all.
But they replaced that bathroom scene with what I think is a far better bathroom scene.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was waiting for that scene. I was waiting for that moment. and they kind of tease it.
Mm-hmm.
Where the older girl says to the young girl, "We should go in the bathroom and play Bloody Mary," and I was like, "Oh, here comes that scene," and it never happens. It's kind of clever. District 9 did that too.
Yeah.
District 9's trailer had a lot of scenes that weren't in the final movie. So, don't expect that scene. But there is a far better bathroom scene, which I won't discuss, because that was actually one of the highlights of the entire film.
Mm-hmm.
I also really liked the stepfather's assistant. I thought he was really kind of fun, because he just seemed like a normal guy who was really into this stuff. And he had the logical conclusion of, he investigated it until it became too dangerous, and then he said, "You gotta stop this," and did the logical thing. And left. Where the dad the stepfather did the very illogical thing and kept going.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing I didn't like is they didn't really have a reason for him to have the camera on him at the grandmother's house.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I need to go back and see it again to be sure, but I'm pretty sure that it was almost pitch black inside the house, and the camera.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about the fact that he brought it at all.
Oh, you mean along with the
yeah?
Oh, okay.
No, I can understand the whole running through the dark house with the camera thing.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess that I'll forgive. But the thing I don't know is why he brought it in the first place. Because as they're pulling up, he's got the camera on, and then they're in the kitchen, and they go, "Oh, why do you have your camera?" And he goes, "Oh, just to feel useful."
Yeah,
that
really
was the
point to it.
Yeah, that was the reason they gave. It's like, no, what they need is an excuse. Like, had he brought it and said and set it up in the bedroom, I might as well keep doing this.
Or no, even if he mentioned.
But again. The climax does not need to happen at the grandmother's house to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's.
I think it's the only one out of the three. The only one out of 3 movies so far that has gone to a different house.
Yep.
It's the only one. The only one. The one and only that's gone to a separate house altogether to finish the climax. I mean, if he had brought the even if, for reasons for him bringing the camera, if he had just mentioned something offhand or just off the top of his head when somebody asked about the camera and just said something like maybe, "I want to see if it continues happening," or "I want to see if it's following us," or something to that effect. Something to give reason to why he's bringing along with them.
Because, there is a demon. There's no question here.
Oh, yeah.
Because, like we said, at the first, 5-10 minutes of the film, you see the outline of the demon. It exists, and the stepfather knows it. So he could have played that off 10,000 different ways instead of just going, "Oh, I just want to feel useful." That's not a reason. That's stupid. I mean, it might have been an offhanded comment, but even then.
Yeah.
Overall, it's okay.
It's alright. It's not the best of the 3.
It is by far the worst of the 3.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a bad movie. It's just it's not as good as the other 2.
It doesn't live up to the name. The other 2 movies are so good at building up suspense. Nothing happens in those movies for almost the entire runtime until near the end. Stuff really starts happening. In this movie, stuff is just hitting you left and right.
Mm-hmm.
It just doesn't. It doesn't have that same build to it.
I mean, there are a few builds here and there, but I mean, they're just not as many as they used to be in the other 2 movies, where they just slowly build up tension and just until it brings you to a really big climax, and you think there's something that's going to happen, but it doesn't happen, and it happens when you least expect it to happen, which is what scares you. There are one of the few things that actually is pretty good in Paranormal Activity 3 that I liked for one of the scares is when the little girl is talking to her sister about Toby and wondering where he is, and she's like, "He's in there." She's like, "Oh, he's in here? Oh, I'm gonna go see Toby." "No, you shouldn't go see Toby." And so this little closet inside the room.
It's a crawl space.
A little crawl space inside the room. It's like, "Oh, sure, I'm gonna go," something like, I'm gonna go inside and see Toby. "You shouldn't do that," as the other sister says. And she goes in, and all of a sudden the door slams itself on her, and yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Um, like the majority of scares in this movie are decent.
Yeah.
Some are very memorable, but in terms of the overall build to these scares, it just isn't as good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but overall the acting was all right. The the scares were okay. It's just passable, which is sad because it has such a pedigree.
Mm-hmm.
It was a horror series I kind of respected for what it was doing, and this one I wouldn't say ruined it for me, but it certainly put a damper on my enthusiasm for the series.
Mm-hmm. I'm kind of hoping for a fourth, just so I can try and tie up some of those plot holes. Just for that, at least.
Yeah.
Like, if they don't have that in, like, a director's cut, like, explaining some of these things, at least, release a fourth movie to tie up loose ends. I hope they do, because I do like Paranormal Activity movies.
Yeah.
Like, I really like the director that makes them. Like, you can tell he's putting a lot of effort into it. I mean, especially the first one, which is really good for being an independent movie made with using $15,000 as a budget. I mean,
which the majority of which was just spent on the camera.
Yeah, most of which was spent on the camera, a bit on the renovations, some on the actors, which there were only 2 of.
There were 3. There was a doctor.
Well, technically 4, because there was a quick cameo from the Doctor and one of the Katie's friends.
Oh yeah.
But that was it.
Yeah.
It was mostly just Katie and what's the other guy's name?
The boyfriend.
He said
whatever
it over.
His name was.
She said it over and over and over and over. I should know his name. Micah. Micah.
That's right.
That's right.
Well, all right. So, rather than doing a thumbs up or thumbs down, or doing a 1 to 10 star thing, our rating system's going to be see it in theaters, rent it on DVD, or forget about it, basically. So, I'd say rent it, wait for DVD. I mean, it is a fun movie to watch, but it just, if you're a fan of the series, you're going to hate this thing.
Yeah.
But if you're just a general moviegoer who wants to see a decent horror movie, wait for DVD or Blu-ray and pick it up on that. Give it a rent, see if it's something you can get into. Some of the scares are good, so I would recommend a rental.
Unless you want to see it on Halloween, or you like seeing movies with groups of people, and you like to hear other people get freaked out by scenes.
Yeah.
Because it is kind of fun seeing...
Yeah, it was kind of fun.
It must have been college night or something, because our theater was filled with college students.
And everybody knew each other. Did you notice that?
I know.
Like, one person would see, like, a whole group of people and go hug them all, and then they'd go and sit up with their friends, and it was like, how do these people all know each other?
It's always fun. But it was fun watching it with a big crowd like that, because, I mean, you get all kinds of people who have different levels of being scared of horror movies, and you have the huge chickens, because you could tell the huge chickens because they would scream at things that weren't scary, which was priceless.
Like the girl's face just kind of appearing?
Yeah, the girl's face just kind of appearing.
And they go, ah!
You just hear 3 girls in the back go, ah!
Yep.
I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah, if the movie-going experience means that much to you, or you need something to watch this coming Monday on Halloween, then I guess this'll do.
Yeah. Otherwise, just wait for a DVD release.
Yeah, I'd rent it and, check it out and decide from there. I don't regret seeing the movie.
Oh, no.
I'm just kind of disappointed in the results, because I was hoping, like I said, that it would be a lot better than it was, given the pedigree that it's trying to live up to. Because the first and second one were so good. Anyway, anything else to add?
Oh, the one other thing that I wanted to mention about the third movie is that the first movie didn't have this because it was the first movie. But the second movie had this, is where it had this kind of aha moment where I told him what was countless times when we watched it. But there's this aha moment in the second movie where it ties in with the first, where you see the father talking to the housemaid and the daughter, and he's talking to the daughter saying, "Don't worry, she won't remember any of this. She doesn't know what's going on. She won't remember any of this." And you're wondering what he's talking about until you see him with the housemaid, who's casting some sort of spell, transferring the curse apparently, and in this plate that she's setting on fire. In this plate is a picture that she's setting on fire, and it's the picture that was from the first movie that Katie found in the attic, which just makes you have that sudden giant realization. Oh my gosh, he's a giant dick, transferring the curse to her sister, getting her killed. Well, possessed, might as well be dead anyways, at that point. But you don't have that in the third, because, I mean, this happens before everything. I mean, everything. Like, the first two, it happens before the first two movies. So, I really wanted there to be something, just something to tie it in that made you have, like, this giant realization on what caused certain things to happen.
Yeah.
Instead of, I don't know, it just didn't have that big reveal.
Yeah,
the second one did.
It explains the backstory, but it doesn't really add anything.
Mm-hmm.
That's really what I think you're trying to get at. Is the second movie added to the storyline.
Yeah.
Really was a significant addition. This really, you could not even watch it and be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not so much how the demon came to be that matters. I mean, the demon's there. That's what matters.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we don't need to know where it came from. It's not important. It's nice to know, but it doesn't really matter in the long run.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's a rental from both of us. Like we said, if you really need something to see this Halloween, you could do worse. But I'd still wait for DVD or Blu-ray or check it out on there. Anyway, so this has been another of our movie reviews. I'm Marauder.
And I'm LOZF.
Thanks for watching.